I know that I'm unstoppable. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable.
Again, Defiant Wrestling is loaded. Dave Bradshaw here at ringside with James R. Kennedy. And James, we are getting ready for more great action tonight.
Hey, I can't wait. Every time we come to Manchester, it's special, especially when Defiant Wrestling is in the house. Let's get started with some loaded action.
Let's take it to the ring. We've got women's action coming up for you right now.
Introducing first, from Liverpool, she is the one-woman army, Lizzy Stiles.
A Defiant debut for Lizzy Stiles, who apparently is the young woman who's going to answer the open challenge here of our women's champion, Kenji.
Well, that scarf that Lizzy Stiles has in her possession says you'll never walk alone. But she walks alone into this one-on-one match, and she knows how to endear herself to Manchester.
Yeah, talk about how to win friends and influence people. Lizzy Stiles with a Liverpool scarf in the city of Manchester. An interesting choice, to say the least, and a very interesting way to make a first impression.
Well, you know, there's no better way than to endear yourself to Manchester than to remind them of a team who are better than both Manchester clubs, in my humble opinion. Oh yes, I'm just getting warmed up, don't you worry about it.
Well, you clearly have similar social skills and friend-making skills to what Lizzy Stiles has. Let's see what her wrestling skills are like against the Defiant Women's Champion, Kenji, about to join us here in the Manchester Academy.
Her opponent, she's the Defiant Wrestling Women's Champion, the Asian sensation, Kenji!
It has now been 2 months since the beginning of perhaps the most unexpected title reign in Defiant Wrestling history, and that young lady, Kenji, continues to split opinion among our fans.
She sure does. You just have to take one look at social media to see that. But I don't know, there's something special about this young lady. You know, to hold the Defiant Women's Championship for 2 months, boy, that's a long 2 months. You are the hunted, and now we have a fresh hunter in the form of Lizzy Stiles. How's Kenji going to match up to this new challenge?
Yeah, Lizzy Stiles very much an unknown quantity, but after the first impression that I talked about, clearly the fans here have already cast their initial verdict on Lizzy Stiles, and there is a firm consensus here in favour of Kenji.
I think that the scarf that Lizzy Stiles has and she's brought to the ring with her might have something to do with that. Maybe not everything, but a little.
Again, this was an open challenge from the women's champion. Title not on the line tonight, but you've got to think, obviously, if Lizzy Stiles could somehow pick up the win against Kenji, then she would have to be right in contention immediately for a women's title shot.
Oh, it would be huge. Absolutely huge. Kenji all smiles right now. We'll see if that smile fades in just a few minutes. Stiles looks like she's all business to me, Bradshaw.
We'll find out. Bell rings, we're underway on this Sunday night here, still just 24 hours removed from all of the action at Unstoppable. We'll see all the fallout from Unstoppable, of course, next week here on Loaded. But if you weren't able to join us last night, you can catch all the action on Access Defiant. That's access.wearedefiant.com.
It was an incredible night of action at Unstoppable. Oh, and we were already seeing some incredible action here between Lizzy Stiles making her debut in Defiant and the Defiant Women's Champion, Kenji.
Stiles having to beat a hasty retreat to the outside.
That's smart, if you ask me.
She seems to not have the most pleasant of demeanors. Is it fair to say?
Well, come on. Have you spoken to the young women? You're going on what Manchester thinks of Lizzy Stiles. That's not exactly fair.
Again, it is still early days in terms of all of our understandings of Lizzy Stiles, and maybe she doesn't care whether I or anyone else thinks she's a nice person. What she cares about, obviously, is picking up the victory, but she's going to have to find a way out of that side headlock if she's going to achieve that goal, and she does.
Oh, look at some early power from Stiles.
Kenji is wriggling her way out of this, takes out the leg. Kenji quickly turning Stiles onto her stomach of the bridge. Get the pressure there on the right leg of Lizzy Stiles. Stiles trying to inch her way towards the bottom rope and gets there. Kenji will have to break, but great innovation in her arsenal of moves there from Kenji.
Yeah, temporarily there, Kenji managing to cut off that route to the ropes. In the end, Lizzy Stiles managed to grab the bottom one, but you see Kenji in the ring saying, I was this close.
Stiles again taking her time, but gets back in. Second time she's called a timeout here.
Oh, forget about it.
So she can hit hard, can Stiles, certainly.
Yeah, I think that Lizzy Stiles definitely, I'm sensing early doors, has the strength advantage here. Speed, I'm not so sure about, but we'll see.
People have been underestimating Kenji throughout her Defiant career so far. No one expected her, of course, to win the title some 8 weeks ago in that 6-woman gauntlet match.
Whoa.
Sweep of the legs from Kenji.
Well, every single woman, every new woman who Defiant Wrestling bring to this roster, they impress me more and more. I'm telling you that, Kenji was no different. What a beginning she's made to her career here in Defiant.
Kenji ahead of the ropes here, slides underneath as Stiles tries to get the boot up again, takes the legs away of this Lizzy Stiles, who's answered the open challenge here of Kenji, but a kick to the side of the head from Stiles gets her right back in the game.
One thing Lizzy Stiles cannot concern herself with is these fans here in Manchester. They will not win you this match.
Yeah, we talked about how Defiant fans have maybe been a little bit divided on Kenji's title reign, whether she's deserving of the Defiant Women's Championship so early in her career, but there certainly doesn't seem to be any divide between these fans here. Very unanimous support for the Women's Champion.
Absolutely, it seems to change everywhere we go around the UK. But here in Manchester, as you say, Dave, they seem to be firmly behind the Women's Champ. Oh,
maybe it's because she's been such a fighting champion ever since she gained the title. Of course, she still doesn't, apart from that, obviously the match where the gauntlet match where she won the title, she doesn't really have a signature victory yet. She had that title defense against Lana Austin, won that match by disqualification, but only by disqualification thanks to Austin using a chair as Stiles. It's a 2 count. So from Kenji's perspective, she still hasn't really, since that night where she won the title, proved that she deserves to be the champion.
well, I think that's where some of the hesitation comes from, certainly from the Defiant Wrestling fan base. They're not quite sure what to make of Kenji yet. She came out hot out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, to become the Defiant Women's Champion. Yes, that earns you some respect, but it's all about longevity. 2 months maybe isn't enough for the people.
It was only her second match here in Defiant when she became champion, Kenji. Let's see what Stiles can do here in her first match. She's hanging in there with Kenji, but champion back in control here with those forearm smashes with the right arm. Here comes Kenji again. An uppercut from Lizzie. Stiles may have knocked Kenji out cold. Here's the cover from Stiles for the upset, but Kenji gets the right shoulder off the canvas.
I'm telling you, that was so close. Certainly closer than Kenji would have liked. She didn't see that uppercut coming. Lizzie Stiles, so impressive in her debut here in Defiant Wrestling. Calculated offense.
Stiles with the forearm again. Both of these women have been hitting each other with a lot of force, as you see again. Stiles taking Kenji down to one knee. Stiles taking time out to goad her opponent. That might have been a mistake, but this one is a slugfest now between these two.
I'm interested to see which way this goes. At the end of it, looks like Kenji has the upper hand.
Kenji getting ahead of steam. She'll go to the ropes here. Stiles try to stop her in her tracks, but Kenji bouncing off the middle rope and taking out Lizzie Stiles.
And again, Bradshaw, Manchester show their appreciation for the women's champ. They're all over the place.
Oh, here comes Kenji. The middle turnbuckle, the enziguri.
1 minute on social media, these same people are lambasting the champion, wondering what kind of, as I said earlier, what kind of longevity she's going to have in Defiant. They're rooting for her.
Kenji with the run-up. Avalanche in the corner, and Kenji will send Stiles. Or will she? There's a reversal of the Irish whip. Kicking to the midsection from Kenji. Face first into the turnbuckle goes Stiles. And here comes Kenji. A swinging kick around into the face. And Kenji maybe headed up to the top floor here.
Well, Kenji caught all of that one. Now going to the penthouse suite. See how this high-risk move works out for the champ.
Kenji measuring Stiles, and Kenji with the missile dropkick.
Will that be enough?
The cover, the leg hook for the women's champion, and Stiles again finds a way out.
These people here in Manchester might not like Lizzie Stiles because she came out here with a Liverpool scarf, but they have to respect how much tenacity she is showing in this match to stay in this match.
Again, Stiles finds a way to force the issue, get herself back in with those right arm strikes that have really served her quite well here. Kenji blocks her again. Stiles took too long taunting the crowd. Kenji rolls over the top of Stiles back into the ring, but Stiles, that knee right into the abdomen. Stiles Northern Light suplex with the bridge. Great bridge from Stiles, and Kenji just about escapes to keep this one alive again.
And that's only going to frustrate Lizzie Stiles. It really is, because I think she came in here with a game plan, felt she would have the power advantage. Hey, she's shown some speed as well, don't get me wrong, but it's all about the power for Stiles. Are we going to see it again? And this time, will it put Kenji away?
Stiles maybe looking for a power bomb. Kenji knows she's in some trouble. Women's champion forcing her way out. Kenji with the short arm elbow smash. And Kenji! Whoa! No, break a jaw, Kenji!
Here we go.
The victory roll from Kenji! Once again, Stiles is still alive.
Kenji looking towards the referee, asking the question, how was that not a 3 count? Never mind why.
Listen to this roar from the women's champ. It was a roar returned in kind by an increasingly sympathetic Defiant fan base.
Now Kenji, what does she do next? What is it going to take to put this debutante Lizzie Stiles away for good?
Well, maybe it will take the kamikaze Kenji. That moonsault off the top turnbuckle, but Kenji took too long getting up there. Stiles grabs her by the hair, and Kenji's hung upside down. Kenji completely helpless here as Stiles puts the boot in.
Oh.
Choke in the end. Referee demanding the break, but Stiles took as much of those 5 seconds as she could. Running knee right into the jaw of Kenji, and that'll do it. Oh my! Stiles wins it. Wow!
Here is your winner, the one-woman army, Lizzy Stiles.
Lizzy Stiles knocking Kenji out cold there. The women's champion in this non-title open challenge has lost to Lizzy Stiles on her first match.
Well, you just said the key words, non-title, but in my humble opinion, surely in the future of that young woman, there is a Defiant Women's Championship match looming. Hey, she has a legit claim to it after that display.
What will this do to Kenji's mindset as a women's champion who's already proved controversial to now lose to a debutante here on Loaded? Lizzy Stiles, as you say, with a very strong case now for a women's title shot as Kenji looks on in disbelief.
So, what do you think, Miller? This turban or that turban?
That turban. It glows, it sparkles, it would nice.
I like that one, you should like that one.
Hey.
That was rude.
It's not for you guys.
Yeah.
I know it's not for us, right? But Will might like one of these. Yeah. Second of all, General, is it just General mean? What's happening?
Yeah, it's General Amin. Don't talk down to General Amin. Do you know how hard he worked to get that rank?
I worked very hard.
Very hard.
Right, okay. Well, first of all, the turban is better than that. Second of all, we've been destroying your open challenge. So, match time?
You know what you have? You've been doing a real good job.
Hey. How about, give him a round
Good
of
round of applause, round of applause. And we were discussing this earlier,
Yeah.
but you ain't going to get a title shot. What you are going to get is we had a little chat, a little put our heads together, and we've decided you get to face soon the legendary tag team of Johnny Storm and Jody Fleisch. Do the thing, do it now.
Oh, and you know why? Here's why.
Yeah,
that was good. I like that one. Oh, brilliant.
Wait till Will hears about this.
Loaded rolls on, and a big opportunity here for two men who are both yet to pick up their first victory here in Defiant.
The following is a singles bout set for one fall, and it has a 20-minute time limit. Heading towards the ring at this time, wrestling out of Sunderland, and weighing tonight at 212 pounds, Connor Renshaw.
Connor Renshaw, not lacking in confidence, and he is certainly an intimidating young man, but yet to find that extra mile inside of himself, I guess, that will allow him to pick up his first victory.
Well, he's not alone, because here comes another wrestler here in Defiant Wrestling who is yet to taste the sweet, sweet taste of victory. Will tonight be the night?
His opponent is the skinny icon and legend, the Queen of Queens, Visage!
Visage growing in popularity here with Defiant fans every time he's out here. But Visage also, like Renshaw, as we say, yet to pick up a victory. Both of these young athletes have been new additions to the Defiant roster in the past couple of months since Loaded returned. And for one of them here, a chance to finally climb that first rung on the ladder.
And it's the all-important first step. Now look at the contrast in personalities, if you will, inside that ring. On one hand, you have Visage with all the histrionics, and then you look at Connor Renshaw. I don't think he's a man who deals too kindly with histrionics. He's down to business straight away. You can see it in his eyes.
You wouldn't describe Renshaw as flamboyant, would you?
No, certainly not. But hey, there's nothing wrong with that. If he can get the job done and pick up his first win here in Defiant Wrestling, there is no telling the future this youngster could have.
Renshaw has already removed the wig. I think he was trying to bite Visage. And that backfired for Renshaw. Visage happy to remove the wig.
There's the unpredictable offense.
Oh, wow. Well, if the back kick doesn't get you the front one, well, and here's another one for good measure from Visage.
It's hard to work Visage out. It really, really is. And we're seeing it case in point. Conor Renshaw doesn't have a clue where these hits are coming from.
Visage was looking to launch himself onto Renshaw, but Renshaw was wise to it, rolls Visage back in, and Renshaw looking to aggressively capitalize here.
That's what I'm saying about young Conor Renshaw. You can see with the look in his eye that he's all business all the time.
Definitely has the aggression, the mean streak necessary to succeed here in the professional wrestling world, but obviously at least one piece of that puzzle missing so far has been for Renshaw, because he is yet to get in the win column, but it might be about to change because he has dominated the early exchanges here for the most part. But he's continuing to do so.
In my managerial days, Bradshaw, I've seen so many wrestlers like Conor Renshaw, and this is a make or break time in their careers.
Look at this now, Visage.
Oh,
A mule kick there from Visage. Spinning heel kick takes Renshaw down. Good for a 2 count. And Renshaw suddenly finds himself struggling.
so unique is Visage. There we go again. This time Renshaw had it well scouted.
Kicked Visage right in that left knee. Big strength from a deadlift position into the power slam from Renshaw. Hooks the leg and gets 2.5 before that left shoulder comes up.
Renshaw shouldn't hesitate here. Has to get right back on the attack.
And that is what he's looking to do. He's measuring Visage, waiting like a predator stalks its prey. Visage saw him coming. I think it was going to be a bicycle kick from Renshaw. Instead, another one of those heel kicks from Visage. Puts that body weight down the shoulders and wow, Visage with the win. Visage picks up the win.
Here is your winner, the Queen of Queens, Visage!
The Queen of Queens with that drop-dead gorgeous kick to take out Conor Renshaw, and Visage picks up his first win here in Defiant.
Renshaw must live to fight another day, but for Visage, the road to glory perhaps starts now.
Stupid general assistant, whatever it was, job. Prince Amin, come be my assistant. I got really cool jobs for you. Yeah, right. My ass, general assistant washing. David! Ah! What are you doing? I'm doing what you asked.
Come on. Some good cleaning over
Good
there.
clean.
Thank you very much. Now,
Good cleaning.
we need to have words, my friend. We need to have words. First of all, I hired you as an assistant to make all the important calls.
Yeah.
And what do? You let Gabriel Kidd come in and force himself into a title match.
Gabriel Kidd was trying to murder me.
And? Anyway, that aside, I have come up with a plan. Because I have not lost faith in you, Simon. You are going to be one fine assistant. That's why I've thought of something. I have a wrist. Hold out your wrist. Hold out your wrist.
Hold out my wrist.
I have a wristband right here. And the wristband shows, what would Mo do?
Who's Mo?
It's me, idiot. I'm Mo. What do you think? My first name is just General or something.
Your first name was Prince.
No, well...
Your last name's Amin.
No, it worked for that singer, but it doesn't work for me. It's Mo. Mo. Anyway. Anytime you need to make a big decision, refer to the wristband. What would Mo do? I'll leave you to it, Simon. Get back to those dishes. They're not going to clean themselves.
What would Mo do?
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure in this time to introduce you to to the legendary, England's #1, simply the best, Marty Jones!
Marty Jones, a British wrestling legend, back here on Defiant, and once again here to represent his newest proteges, the dynamic duo.
You hear the chants for Marty Jones. Hey, and these chants happen not just in Manchester, but wherever we go, and wherever this man goes, more pertinently, people chant his name, and that shows you the legacy that Marty Jones has left behind him. And not only that, the legacy he's building when he trains the future of British wrestling.
Standing ovation from parts of this audience for Marty Jones, who is going to address the crowd here in Manchester.
Good evening, Manchester. Thank you for them kind words, Mr. MC. Listen, when they tell me that British wrestling's dead, take a look to your left and right. This is what it's all about. Coming down, supporting your own. You're the people that's keeping this business going. What I'd like to do, ladies and gentlemen, I never thought I'd ever be stood in a ring again in Manchester. I'm going. When you got the historic venues like Bellevue, Manchester, and you get all these great venues in Manchester, where it was the bed of wrestling up north, they've all gone, but they're all starting again with places like this and with people like you. And it's an honour to me to be here. Hey, listen, we're here with you. Hey, you don't see me in this jockstrap, man.
No regrets Rumble, I'm calling it right now. #1 entrant.
There's a bar open. See what I mean? We can have a crack, can't we? What I'm doing now, ladies and gentlemen, we've had 3 knee operations. Sorry? Either shut up or put up.
Marty's gonna kill
You always get one balloon, don't you? Without them balloons, we wouldn't be here, would we? By the way, you got him for a tenner, you got him for 30 quid. Seriously, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do is I can't pack the job in, it's in my blood. So I've opened a wrestling school in Oldham, quite near to here, and I am breeding the new stars of the future. I'm also the British Wrestling Commissioner, and I keep an eye on things. And if I think that people are worthy of a trial, or they're worthy of a championship, I get to the promoters and put my case forward. Now what I am going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is introduce you to 2 guys. Well, they're not guys. They're not guys at all. They're young men. One's 15 years of age, and the other one's just turned 17. And they're making their Manchester debut right here, right now. And if I tell you these people, that these 2 have got wrestling in the veins, in the blood. One of them is called Mark, the other one's called Thomas, and their last name is Bellington. So yes, you sussed it. These 2 are the nephews of the late, great Dynamite Kid. I'd like you to keep that applause going because for the first time, Dynamite's brother, Mark Sr., and the wife, The parents of these two kids are here to watch you for the first time tonight. Keep that applause going, please. Give them all your support. Please welcome Mark and Thomas Bellington. They're known as a dynamic duo. Thank you.
Well, British wrestling legends abound. Marty Jones here on Loaded has just introduced the nephews of the Dynamite Kid, Tom Billington. This is Mark and Thomas Billington making their third appearance here on Loaded. And what a news story we just heard a moment ago, that 2 weeks from now, two men who these two youngsters have had problems with, the SCC, will be back here against another two British wrestling legends from a different era, Johnny Storm and Jody Fleisch.
Wow, it's all happening here in Defiant Wrestling, keeping the traditions of British pro wrestling alive and securing its future, and you see that inside the ring. But here come another few gentlemen we're well acquainted with, Bradshaw. Well, you anyway.
Well, Fleisch and Storm have been around the block in British wrestling. These two haven't been around quite as long, but they've been around well over a decade. Very successful in the British tag team scene have been Donnie Hope and Joey Hayes.
The following is a tag team match set for one fall, and it has a 20-minute time limit. Introducing now the opponents. Total combined weight 411 pounds. This is the team of Hot Stuff, Joey Hayes, Delicious Donnie Hope. They are collectively known as the Models.
Yeah, the Models had their own problems with SCC, losing to that team of Kelly Six and Ashley Dunn a few weeks ago. Same obviously true of the Billingtons as well, in controversial circumstances it has to be said. So both of these two teams are very different points in their careers, but both with a point to prove.
Well, look at this. Straight away, Donnie Hope almost getting right up in the face of the legendary, iconic Marty Jones. I wonder what Marty Jones makes of these two.
Well, judging by the expression on his face, I have some idea.
Well, listen, when that bell rings, you can forget all the theatrics. It's the physicals that count. And look at the nonchalant faces of young Thomas and Mark Bellington. They're not even selling what's happening behind, in front, or around them. They just want to get on with this match and take the next step in their pro wrestling journey.
Yeah, the Billingtons in no way overawed by their much more experienced opponents. They are from right near here in Manchester. The Billingtons, this is their first time ever competing in this great wrestling city.
Look at the abs, the midsection of Thomas Bellington. You know, I used to look like that when I was a teenager.
What happened?
That's not very nice. If you must know it, I found Domino's and it snowballed from there.
There's an early tie-up between young Thomas Billington and Joey Hayes.
There's an intensity to this young man that, well, I was going to say you can't teach. Marty Jones obviously has taught it to young Thomas Billington, but I think he had an inkling of it to begin with.
Yeah, it's a great question how much of this talent that we've seen already in this young career of the Billingtons is from genetics, how much of it is taught. There's certainly elements of both there. Clearly from very good stock as the nephews of one of the all-time British greats.
Can you imagine being between 15 and 17 years old and you're already this good? You're already experiencing what British wrestling has to offer. Right at the beginning of their journey, as we say, but it's bound to be a long and fruitful one.
Tagged by both sides. Mark Billington in there now with Donnie Hope.
Donnie Hope's seen a thing or two. Nothing's going to shock him in this match.
One thing that Billingtons are going to have to learn very early on in their careers here is that wrestling, for all the wonderful things about the wrestling industry, it does have its fair share of prima donnas, and they found themselves against two such people right now.
And what do you think the South Coast Connection, Ashley Dunn and Kelly Six, are doing right now? Chilling with Will Ospreay, or do you think they're relaxing in the back with a protein shake, taking in this match?
Probably asking Ospreay for money.
Oh, come on now.
Billington manages to find a way to reverse the wrist lock, and that is the influence, of course, of Marty Jones, who has been training these two youngsters at his nearby training school, which has been churning out talent for the past few years now.
If these two are anything to go by, it's a very successful place, I'll tell you that for free.
Hoping for the monkey flip. Billington lands on his feet. Cat-like agility from young Mark Billington.
Turn around, Donnie Hope. Or maybe don't turn around. You won't like what's waiting on you.
Chops the Donnie Hope, and Billington, both of those feet going right into the chest, into the heart of Donnie Hope. Hope moves out of the way, and a little bit of inexperience kicking in there. The forehead of Billington goes face first into the turnbuckle, and Hope trying to follow up by rubbing that forehead right into the canvas.
Well, you said the word, Bradshaw, experience, and I believe this is where experience takes over. You might see the models start to cut that ring in half, and that spells disaster for young Mark Billington. If he can't get to his partner Thomas, that might be all she wrote.
Well, Hope just sent Billington's head so hard into Joey Hayes' boot that looks like Hayes hurt his foot. That's how hard these two hit. And that's what has taken them to Tag Team Championship gold in so many promotions all across the UK.
It's easy to forget that. It really is. These guys, Hayes and Hope, they've been around for so long. Hey, they were around UK wrestling when it was on a bit of a downward slide, a bit of a downward turn, and they, along with many others, have resurrected the industry in this country. They're not about to let two young hopefuls like the Bellingtons come in and sweep all that glory for themselves.
Bit of showboat in there from the models, but that is interesting when you look at how experienced the models are, and just seeing the Billingtons here hanging with them, move for move. You forget, again, that one of these guys is 15, the other's 17. They're both in their second match ever as a tag team.
Mind-blowing, it really is.
But you are also starting to see now that experience advantage take hold for the models as Hayes tries for a pin. They've cut the ring in half and quick fire tags. We've seen a couple of quick tags. We're going to see another one here, I think.
You hear Marty Jones shouting, "Come on, Mark." He realizes that his man is in peril here because young Thomas Bellington, helpless on the ring apron, powerless to do anything.
Yeah, Mark Billington's been in there a long time now, needs to make a tag as soon as possible, but Hope and Hayes, because of that experience, are doing everything possible to deny him that opportunity to get over to his own corner.
And here we go on the second turnbuckle. There's the little shimmy, the little hip shake.
Thankfully it cost him.
Didn't pay dividends, that's for sure. And now look at this, turnabout's fair play.
Mark Billington head to the top, and that might have been a mistake for Billington because, as we said, he needed the tag. The tag, I think, should have been the priority, but having said that, maybe I'm wrong because Billington, off the top, turnbuckle missile dropkick from Mark Billington, and both men are down. This is the opportunity that Billington needed.
Yes, and yes. It is absolutely imperative that Mark gets to Thomas, gets the fresh man in this match. But similarly, Donnie Hope doing everything he can, or rather Joey Hayes doing everything he can to get involved in this match and get Donnie Hope to his corner. Look at that.
Billington up and he easily made the tag. Here comes Thomas in there against Joey Hayes. Drop kick, kick up. Now Hayes sent to the big clothesline from Billington. The snap suplex from Thomas.
Where have we seen that one before? Picture perfect.
It was like being in a time machine sometimes watching this young man. Snap suplex after snap suplex. Absolutely punishing a team with well over a decade more experience than him.
And single-handedly as well. Now Turf's Joey Hayes outside the ring. Look at all this excitement. It's even got Marty Jones out his chair.
Pent up frustration from Thomas Billington that he was left on the apron for so long. Once he got in there, exploding like a house of fire, but now it's Mark Billington up on the top turnbuckle. Mark Billington takes out the models. These two young men absolutely fearless.
Yes, they are. But it's important now, there we go. The dynamic duo getting Joey Hayes back inside the ring. That's the place to finish this and win this match.
Looking for the double team. Hayes into the double clothesline. Sends Joey Hayes down. His head bounced off the canvas as well. Hayes may have been stunned, and Hope knew, I think, that he had to break up the pin.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. Now it's all breaking down. Mark Bellington. Oh!
That was with some force, with some emphasis from Donnie Hope.
Oh, this isn't good for Thomas Bellington, though. Hope back inside the ring.
And it looks like they are going to try and finish our what insult to injury.
Wow.
The heart attack. The heart attack.
Wait a minute.
No, come on. Donnie Hope is going to finish a Billington with the sharpshooter, of all things. Look at Hope. Hope is taunting Marty Jones. Marty Jones himself, an expert in the sharpshooter. Hope is screaming abuse at a British wrestling legend as Thomas Billington tries to inch his way to the bottom rope, and he makes it.
I cannot believe that Thomas Bellington had the intestinal fortitude to hang on for that long in such an excruciating hold. And I don't think Donnie Hope can quite believe it either.
What I can't believe is the attitude that Hope is showing here towards Marty Jones.
Marty Jones getting a little bit fired up here as well. He might. Oh, don't tell me.
I'm not sure Donnie Hope really knows what he's just done. It looks like Jones is going to try and get in, and I'm not sure this is a good idea for Jones either. Jones is a legend, but
Marty Jones has had how many knee surgeries now? Oh, wait a minute!
Jones!
His hands are in good working order, though.
Oh, Thomas Billington! Look at Billington! Pile driver! What a pile driver from Thomas Billington! What's he? Oh, don't tell me! Don't tell me!
Third floor!
The flying hammer from the nephew of the Dynamite Kid! Cover from Thomas Billington! You will get the first win!
The winners of the match, the team of Thomas and Mark Billington, the dynamic duo!
Write this day in your history books! It is the first victory in what could well be two historic careers for Mark and Thomas Billington!
The dynamic duo with their very first victory here in Defiant Wrestling, accompanied by the great Marty Jones. And hey, that legend had a bit of a say in things, didn't he? Popping Donnie Hope right in the jaw.
Well, Hope asked for it. Hope asked for it. The Billingtons with a historic win to finish up this week's Loaded.